good. Good, you could come out. I can see, the number of students who were before the lunch session and after the lunch session. The strength has gone a little down. So I must compliment you for coming in. Some of you would have come on your own, and some of you would have been asked to come in. So it's good. As a student, before we commence this session, I would like to highlight one thing. These sessions are once you go to industry, and if you have to attend an HR forum, you need to pay for such events. So once the institution is organizing such events, you must come with full energy without expecting what you will take out from these sessions. So I am speaking in front of our guests also, because I wanted to infuse that feeling, even if you are going back and seeing the energy of Sri Lakshmi ji or Anand ji or Karuna ji or Sogata ji, who would have traveled from places like Cochin in Kerala to from Hyderabad, and so it takes a lot of efforts actually in committing and saying I'll come, because the flights, they have to get ready by 2 a.m. in the morning to catch a flight in the morning, and then to travel to Jammu will take another 12 to 13 hours. So it is a lot of commitment, from people who are sitting here. So a big round of applause for everyone. I would want you to stand up once. Stand up, khade ho jaiye. Now do it once more with full energy and enthusiasm. Yeah, thank you very much. I think now this has really helped you to awaken, isn't it? तो हम यहाँ पे हैं क्यों हैं? I knew, the quality of questions. There could be a challenge among students. There is an inertia. I wanted to, make sure that I am now a student of MIT. I have studied from MIT itself. I passed out in 2008, so I can correlate with them. So there is an inertia when we are, born and brought up in Jammu. We have not been exposed to the highest quality standards, and when we are getting everything on the plate in Jammu sitting here. So I have, prepared a good series of questions, for this panel discussion. We have with us industry veterans, I would say, because in industry, if you spend more than 10 years, you are a veteran. So thank you for, coming in and joining us here at MIT. So Arushi, I'll start the, panel discussion. Okay? So I have with me, Ajay Khajuria ji, who will be moderating the session. And so let me start with, I have put down certain things. And the first thing I'll be talking about is the recent articles in Economic Times, in Times of India. They are mentioning about the decline in the recruitment numbers this year around. For the numbers matter, I would like to inform all the students that in financial year 22, there were 4 lakhs jobs for freshers. And in the financial year 23, the numbers came down to around 2.6 lakhs jobs. And surprisingly, the numbers have come down in financial year 24 to 1.6 lakhs only. So in this year, 15 lakh engineers are going to graduate. So if I go by mathematics, only 1 in 10 engineers will get a job. The situation is worrisome, isn't it? And if I was a student, I would feel how I can be a part of these 1.6 lakh students who will get a job at the end of the financial year or the end of the academic year. What skills should I possess? So market is going to be very competitive. You are not the only students. There are students from all over India who will be competing for these 1.6 lakhs job. So I would like to, put this question to Ms. Sogata ji, that how do you look into it, and how should students prepare in such a highly competitive market to get into the industry? Yeah, mic is there. Yeah.
Thank you, Sahil. I think I was not aware of this 1.6 lakhs. I was still under the impression it's 2 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs. So 1.6 lakhs, does it make a difference? For me, I always tell to the students, like when I go for an interview, there will be 100, 200 applicants. That is not in your hand. Applicants are not enough. How many people, competition is not in my hand. What is in my hand is how I perform.
Okay.
So the outlook for you guys is that if you are sitting against the 9 other students, that should not be something which will make you feel scared. Arey, there are 9 other people. You should feel that there be 9 or 90. If there is one position, I am going to be that person who gets selected. That's the belief you have in yourself. That's number one. Number two, he is talking about the corporate jobs, the top professional. These 1.6 lakh
In
will not,
IT sector, yeah.
1.6 lakh will not also cover the startups, the startup in the ecosystem. Okay, there are a lot of startups in the industry. There are a lot of upcoming startups which are upcoming. Okay, and IT is not the end of the world or the beginning and end of the world. There are a lot of jobs outside the IT industry also. So why are you just focusing on IT? See, we want IT because like, yeah, we'll get to US, Europe. We will get everybody will go to US and Europe. We'll have a 9-to-5 job. It's not like that. IT industry is very difficult, very tough. So if you don't get into the IT industry, you will go to the manufacturing, retail, BFSI domain. There are a lot of jobs. What are the industry segments which are growing now? Any idea?
Yeah, any idea on this?
Which industry segment is growing? IT is going in a slowdown. But which is growing?
BFSI, for example.
BFSI, retail, manufacturing, services, healthcare.
All non-IT sectors are growing this time.
Healthcare, we have got Novartis is one of the leaders. I was very surprised when you have not heard of the name Novartis. Novartis, Ranbaxy, Biocon, Eli Lilly, Dr. Reddy's. These are some of the famous names of the pharma industry. And everybody is talking about, the next industry revolution coming in. That is not only about IT. So look at the other options. So again, what we are talking what is the process of elimination? If you're not getting into IT, what next? Look into focus into that.
Thank you, Sugataji. You have made a valid point. I firmly believe that students are required to, look into other options such as banking, financial services is one of the domain which, even engineering students can look at if the market is really tight and they want to kickstart their career. With this point, I would like to move to Mr. Anand as well. If you would want to add on to this and, tell the students what a mantra in a sense, what can they do to prepare for such a tough, market which is going to be there in next 6 months' time?
So the mantra which personally I follow and I believe in is the ASK model, ASK. Attitude, skill, knowledge. Currently, what we are doing is we are gaining knowledge, right? Clear? Because you are studying, we are doing our visits, theories, etc., etc. We are developing our knowledge. Uske baad, if I move ahead, once you have acquired the knowledge, let's focusing on developing our skills. Okay? And of course, a combination of all this put together with the right attitude, irrespective which industry you belong to, which vertical you belong to, whether you are a startup or you are, getting into another businesses, if you have the right attitude, no need to search for a job. The job will come to you. You need to create that destination for yourself. That, that destiny is something which we need to create for each one of us. So a right combination is a appropriate combination or, khichdi jo bolte hain, log masala jo hum bolte hain, which is of a ASK model. And trust me, from a hiring and recruitment point of view also, I strongly believe in the combination of ASK. Especially as a fresher, you are somebody who has really worked hard and developed your knowledge. Now let's focus on developing our skills, and with the right combination of the right attitude, you will be able to flourish irrespective recession ho, recession na ho, it should not be a problem.
Thank you so much. You coined it as ASK, we call it as AX model. Yeah, attitude, knowledge and skills. It resonates really well. And if someone has to take up any mantra, I think this is what Anandji has suggested. If you can imbibe those 3 things into your daily routine, it will really help you over a period of time. Yeah.
Anand, a question which is quite related what you just said, and it has generally come out after my discussion with, I think, whosoever is sitting here. Most of the time I spend with time with them one-on-one. So many times they ask questions, and I think you all would be the better one to answer that how to stop worrying about the interviews, because that is very, very basic at their age and stage. They are quite worried about it. Anxiety attacks before interview, and they are not able to sleep in night, and whenever they wake up in the morning, they are quite tired, not fit for interview. So how you can help them, giving some tips about your HR practices which can help them so that they should not stop worrying about the interviews?
Nothing major will change. Let me be very honest with you. You won't change as a person, like a click or a second. It will take time. These are 5 fingers. Can you see that? All 5 are same? No. No 5 fingers are same. Height, weight, length, जो भी आप देखो, कोई भी dimension लगा लो. All are different. ठीक है? So please try to understand, all of you will not be the right person for that right job and the right fit. But what really matters the most is how prepared you are. ठीक है? एक बार करो, 2 बार करो, 3 बार करो. Trust me, चौथी बार में automatically you will gain that expertise. And do it with 100% दिल से. हाँ, वो sorry to use this language, बम्बईया language है. हम लोग बोलते हैं इसको थुक पट्टी का काम. When I say थुक पट्टी का काम means,
yeah,
रफा दफा करके जैसे तैसे करके हमने manage कर दिया. Recent example, I'm sure all my faculty members would agree to it. You are not prepared for your interview. And it could happen to any one of us. Spend that 1 hour before your interview, meditate, or whatever you believe into, जिसको भी आप मानते हो उसके बारे में विचार करो, अपने आप को present करो, थोड़ा rehearsal करो. बहुत important है. So I'll share this presentation which helps you to prepare yourself for these interviews. Please do these rehearsals. I have been benefited out of these very much. I was somebody, so I'm sorry, I'm being little personal here. मैं हकलाता था. मेरे डिक्शनरी में ड जो होता है डमरू का ड था ही नहीं. मैं ड शब्द बोल ही नहीं पाता था. And then why I'm sharing this, because learn from these things. जैसे मेरा ड का प्रॉब्लम, I'm sure बहुत लोगों का प्रॉब्लम होता है. I know somebody whom a batchmate of mine जिसको र का प्रॉब्लम था. वो राम नहीं बोल पाता था, नाम बोलता था, अलार्म बोलता था. ऐसे मुझे ड का प्रॉब्लम है, मैं वड़ा पाव नहीं बोल पाता था, मैं वगा पाव बोलता था. वगा पाव. क्या खाएगा? Because बम्बईया food is वड़ा पाव. I used to say वगा पाव, and people used to laugh at me. इनफैक्ट आज भी हम लोग जब गेट टुगेदर होता है, दे स्टिल, मुझे आज भी वो लोग वगा पाँव बुलाते हैं. तो वो मस्ती मस्ती में होता था. लेकिन लेट मी बी ऑनेस्ट विथ यू, जब वो बोलते थे ना मुझे, मेरे आँख में आज भी पानी आ जाता है. बिकॉज आई हैव गॉन थ्रू दैट. सो वी ऑल हैव आवर ओन जर्नी ऑफ बीइंग पॉजिटिव और बीइंग नेगेटिव. द बेस्ट पार्ट इज लर्न फ्रॉम योर मिस्टेक्स. We all make mistakes, there's nothing wrong into it, but as I said, once, twice, thrice. 4th time if you are repeating the same mistake, then nobody here should be blamed upon. You yourself need to be blamed upon. So learn from those mistakes. I come from a Gujarati background. So for me, English, I still remember my first day of the college, मैं वहाँ stage के नीचे था. बिल्कुल, मतलब confidence की तो धज्जियाँ उड़ गई थी. And we all have our own, I'm sure everybody here has, their own bits and pieces of these experiences. But then we worked on it. I come from a Gujarati medium background, so मेरे लिए English was like दूर दूर तक. यहाँ आज हम बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं, presentations देते हैं, but 20-22 साल पहले टाइट फिश हो गए थे. So you need to develop that, and there is no ready-made mantra or solution जो आप घोल के पी लिए और ये इंटरव्यू हो गया. लक अच्छा होगा, हो जाओगे. जिस दिन लक अच्छा होगा, हो जाओगे. जिस दिन लक खराब होगा, आप जितना भी मेहनत करोगे, आपको वो रिजल्ट नहीं मिलेगा. So everybody has a good day or bad day. What will create that difference in each of you as individual is how much prepared you are. जो हमारे दायरे में है कोशिश करो उसमें अपना 1000% देने का. जो हमारे दायरे में नहीं है, don't think too much about it. That's what my personal recommendation or comment would be.
Thank you, Mr. Anand. There are two takeaways, so I am taking from this session. I hope the students will also take. So one is the ask model, and second is learning from your problems. Just note it down, and you will see if you just go with these two things after this session, you will say, yeah, it was worth attending the forum. So this is what I tell everyone, all my colleagues also. So you have to take certain things out from the session. So shifting towards, the skills side, we always, for the engineering students, emphasize a lot about coding. And then for higher paying jobs, we tell them to prepare for data structure and algorithms. Then there is another approach where we tell our students to work towards certifications like AWS certification, Azure certification. And at the end of the day, the students are, being fed with a lot of information these days. You have Coursera, you have Infosys Springboard, you have YouTubes, etc. I would want to hear from Sri Lakshmi about your opinion. How should students build the coding skills? Is it of coding and certifications? Or can only one programming language, say, let's say C or Linux, can get them into a job? Or is this something which recruiters look at to land a good job? Yeah. Yeah, it's working.
To answer this question, there's not a certain thing that you can do to be successful. The thing is, today, when I see people, let's talk even from campus, when I talk to people, they know everything. They know bits and pieces of everything, and they go in depth in what they do. So the quality of students today that we see is unimaginable, because they have the bandwidth to digest everything. If you ask me, like coding, so one thing what you can do is understand what is tomorrow's technology, what is going to be in demand, regardless the industry. If you don't know, use ChatGPT and ask them what will be in next 5 years or 1 year, and you understand what are the skills. And remember, one skill cannot work, because one skill has to be supported by multiple skills, which will give you an area to play around. If you know only one skill, it will be only one thing. But if you have multiple skills, you can play around in the same division. So you need to learn multiple skills, and technology is going ahead in a, like, you think today this is important, we are talking about generative AI today. Ask me after 3 months, it will be something else. Right? That's the fast way of technology movement. So the better it is that you understand what is tomorrow's requirement and stop looking at what was successful yesterday. Because what was successful yesterday may not be successful tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah, many thanks, Sri Lakshmi, for your insights. I appreciate it. So I would like Ms. Karuna also to come into this question. So I'll again, ask from a student perspective. So if I have a good command over Linux, for example, or let's say C programming, can knowing C only would land me into a good job or not?
So with the number of, the interviews that we have done and we have been seeing from past so many years, it's not only with the C++, it has to be with the multiple skill set that students really need to be prepared with, because it might be only C++, they might come up. So for example, now we have different companies here, right? So we have VMware, we have Hexaware, Novartis. So we all ask for all the skill set, but definitely, they need to be learning with the multiple coding skills like Java, Python, analytics. These are the multiple skill sets. That's what everybody needs to be a little prepared, and they should know what it is. Because when we ask during the interviews with the students, right, they clearly say, I am only aware of C++, but I don't want to be in Java, Python.
Yeah.
But why is that? You have to be more flexible. Only then you will be able to, that's the first step when you're getting into a corporate life or corporate world. That's when, once you start working, then you'll get to know which is that key skill you can build internally in an organization.
Absolutely.
So that's something.
Yeah, I think that sums up, I think, what Sri Lakshmi and you are saying, that the students during this age now requires to know a breadth of technologies, and they need to focus on certain niche areas as well, and build a good profile which can attract a possible recruiter. So going ahead on this question only, there's a diverse technology stack. A very renowned company, Gartner, they come up with the magic quadrant, for 100 magic quadrant for over 1,000 vendors. So as a student, let's say if I have to only look at a magic quadrant of cloud computing infrastructure, which says Microsoft, Amazon is a leader, followed closely by Azure, then there is IBM Cloud, then Google is catching up, then there are niche players like Oracle, then there are many players who are in the lead towards becoming, leaders as well. So as a student, I get confused. Should I go with AWS, or should I follow Google Cloud, or I should also know about Azure Cloud? So again, I'm again coming back to the earlier question with this reference. What is your viewpoint, Mr. Anand, on this?
So again, there is no right or correct answer to it.
Okay.
So हम बोलते हैं ना, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
What's your area of interest? See, while these technologies complement each other, but they also run parallelly as a part of, the skill set, or, from a long-term career perspective, where we want to get into. So simple, pick up that one thread and try to be the SME, the subject matter expert, and down the line, develop your particular skill set, and don't stick only to one technology. So try to expose yourself to different technologies based on the area of interest. At least have one as a stable career option, and 2 and 3 as a backup option, because that definitely will increase your potential and the opportunity index for you to be able to take up multiple roles. But of course, you need to be a SME on one particular technology which you think is something will be your core competency. And of course, to complement along with that, what are the other 2 technologies which we can help you to develop your career. And coming back to this, let's not talk only about cloud as an option.
Yeah.
There are multiple, so as a tech organization, when I started my career with NetMagic, which was typically a data center organization, they used to focus typically on these 5-6 technologies. But then slowly and gradually, when we started growing as an organization, there were multiple skill sets which got developed. And today, data center is just one of the verticals. And then there are so many businesses within that which really helps you to develop your potential. So again, coming back to the original question, nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. Just ensure that you have the skill set, and of course the combination of A, B and C, A being your primary skill set and B and C as a backup, and something which you can always look for a alternate career path.
Thank you a lot, Sri Lakshmi, Karuna ji and Anand ji, for making it clear. Thanks a bunch. I think it's really made, I am also clear. I believe the students are also now clear. Moving to a very important aspect now, like attitude and, cultural misfit, which these millennials always talk about. I was going through the attrition rates during the digital transformation, which took place during the COVID time. The attrition for freshers was around 30%. It has recently, been reported by team leads that it has come down to around 15 to 18%, which is the standard industry practice. So I believe the things have changed, and the employer market is taking its place back again, which was on the employee side. You would have encountered students citing certain reasons like food, they're not getting food, so they want to go back. They're not missing their families, they want to go back. The culture is toxic, we can't work from 10 to 6, there are minimal lunch breaks, there are this, that, and we are not able to acclimatize, or we are not adjusting, and adaptability, again. I wanted to help you, advise these students on how should they, think about adapting to a new culture and as a foundational stone for building a great career in industry. So my question is focused on adaptability. which the young people, the young students these days are forgetting somehow, and they are more attached to their families, especially the tier 3 city student. So this goes to these students itself. Yeah, Sugata ji, yeah.
That's a very valid question, Sahil. Guys, have you heard the word VUCA? What does it stand for? VUCA world. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguity, right? So what it means that in today's ever-changing world, we cannot take things for granted. We have to be ready to experiment. All of us happens, it's very natural. These 20, 21 years, 22 years, you have been staying with the family, with loved ones nearby, and now it's time for you to take a leap. You can call it a leap of faith, because for the next 35 to 40 years, whichever domain, industry you take a leap, you are going to be there next 40 years of your life. So many times we feel that let us take that leap, but let us be in our comfort zone. Our comfort zone, in our house, a known family. So I come back in the evenings, I see my friends' faces, then we can compare notes and all. My mom is ready to give me homemade food. I don't have to struggle much. Somebody is there to press and wash my clothes. Somebody, if I run short of money, I can ask help from my dad and all that stuff. That is called, we want to win. We want to be the number one, but I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to stretch myself. Until unless you're ready to move out of your comfort zone, you will never be able to succeed. Point number one. Point number two is that you should be ready to take risk. Learn some new things, learn some new cultures, new identities, new food habits, new work style living. Learn how to get up at, 6 o'clock in the morning and wash your own clothes on the weekends. Wash your iron own clothes, maybe cook your food. Okay. Or come back at 11 o'clock in an unknown city, but find out what is the best mode of transport. Okay. Not depending upon your parents or your brother or sister or somebody else to come and pick you up. That is what is going to help you grow up. And these are not, Sahil, you rightly said that the major reasons for people who are leaving, freshers, we did a study. It was, first of all, it was the mismatch of expectations. The expectation is that I expected these ABC things to happen once I joined this company. These expectations come from, I don't know where they got this information, from word of mouth. It may not have a valid reason. So they expect something which does not happen. They say, okay, let me give 6 months. For them, 6 months is the tenure of loyalty. If I stayed 6 months, it shows that I am loyal to the company. 2 years, they will have at least 3 company changes. But guys, please make a note that if you are changing companies every 1 year, 1.5 years, you may get a salary hike. But the HR will be watching our prospective companies. If I see a fresher who is coming to me, 2 years of experience, 3 companies, I will immediately reject. 2 years of experience, 2 companies, I will think 10 times. But then I will say maybe the first company was a mistake, then did a correction. But still I will justify that. Otherwise, HR will always look for people who have been stable and who have joined a company for a reason, not for the sake of joining. They have to look for a long-term career, not the job, first job. First job will always come to you. But how do you use it as a spring to go to the next level is in your hand. So please make it a point that wherever you are joining, give at least 2 to 3 years, because the first 1 year is only about learning.
Absolutely.
And after you learn, then you actually start to implement that. But if you leave in the second year, so you will not know that whatever you have learned was actually valuable, because again you will go back to the learning phase. The implementation phase will never happen. Somebody was asking me about personal branding, one student. So that is how you build your brand. When you implement things. Without implementing, you'll never be able to build a brand. So please give it a go, at least 2 to 3 years in a job, especially the first job.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the guy next to Bhumi, yeah, can you sit a bit firmly? So this example which I wanted to give, this is how you build your personal brand in a professional setup. So if you lay down like this, it'll look like you are in a cinema. This is not cinema. We are not actors. We are actually working professionals. So you need to pay a bit respect by sitting uprightly. isn't it? So this is how you build your brand. Still, you can be a bit more, you know, firm and sit in a proper manner. Yeah, yeah. Good.
I think quite right what Mr. Sugata has just said about how to build your careers. When I used to recruit, if I see someone is having only 1 year of experience in one organization and is continuously jumping for the salary, 5%, 10%, 20% every year, so after some times it stops. It's a speed breaker. So generally people don't recruit anyone who has 5 jobs in 5 years. So with the same cue, my question to Sri Lakshmi, like all of these young professionals or budding professionals, because I never call them students, because all of them are budding professionals and professionals in making, all mindset change. So when they will move from here to, let's say, corporate, what should be, while selecting a job, what they should keep in mind? Whether their passion, for example, if I'm liking some job which is as per my passion, but salary is low. But in some other job, the salary is high, but I don't think my fitment will be there. And third is, salary is very, very low, passion is not there, the brand is amazing. So as per your views, what sort of job they should go for out of these 3?
There has been huge generational differences when we started our jobs to when you are ready to start your job, right? When we started job, money was a criteria because we were breadwinners, we were providers, parents were waiting for us to start earning. But luckily, this generation is a little different. You are going to start a job for yourself, you know. And now, it has been proven in last 10 years, there have been many studies, if you can go and check on the sites, I'll give you later. They have proven that if you follow your passion, money will follow. So first thing is you need to do a homework as how you want to see yourself in next 10 years. In which branch? Now not necessarily you have to follow that for next 10 years, but at least start something. Start something for 5 years. And as you gain experience, you will know, oh, this branch is better, you can move. But you should start somewhere. So this is the job. Like, for example, you know, I have seen students, when I go and talk to students, I said to them, what do you want to do? I want to join Microsoft. I'm like, awesome. You know, there is nothing right or wrong. You can have brand in place, you can have passion in place, you can have money in place, provided it is taking care of the route that you have written for yourself. So in your dictionary, if money is important, go for it. If you think brand is important, go for it. If you have a skill, you can succeed in everything. But provided you have interest in it. Correct? And right, well, everybody said you should not jump the jobs. I'm sorry to say, but I have a different opinion. I may join a job today. Maybe the recruiter sold me the job saying, "Bhai, tum aa jao, तुमको मैं ये कराऊंगा, वो कराऊंगा, तुम ये सीखोगे, वो सीखोगे." Join करने के बाद पता चला जो बोला और जो कर रहे, not matching. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot. So in that case, you won't be wasting your time 1 year there. You should be smart enough to look for something in 3 to 6 months and move out, because you're losing your career. And first 3 years of your career is very crucial. You should be able to tell the person who is interviewing you why you shifted the job. If, for example, if anybody asked me, there is a time when I shifted 3 jobs in 3 years. But that's a great change. That's a great growth in my life. It made me a leader today. If I didn't have done that, it wouldn't have. But you should be convinced first that you are learning in your next job. You are able to move to a next position. You are expanding your portfolio. Because doing same thing for 5 years, you're gone. You will be nowhere after 5 years. Right? So things are changing. So first thing, go home from today. Start a journal. Take some time with yourself. Don't compete with others. I may be good in talking, not necessarily you guys should be good in talking to success, right? I may be something very bad and you may be something good. So know yourself first and make a path. Like what I want next, in my first job, what am I looking for? In 2 years, where I want to be. In 3 years, start doing that, start giving interview. You will see the difference in your entire way of looking at things. and how you present yourself. Without your knowledge, you'll be able to take up whatever you get.
Wow, that's exciting to know. We have two different perspectives, but one thing for sure, you should have a job before you plan to switch, isn't it? So
Again,
this generation can go ahead and say, I'll leave first and then I'll sure. If you plan to do that, then please tell them to have a bank balance of 3 months at least, so that they can plan to do that.
see, in today's date of high-tech industry, I'll tell you where we are suffering big time, right? I've been in high-tech, NetApp, LinkedIn, Microsoft, and VMware. So in the COVID time, people expected the world of work to change after COVID. People thought people will be continuing remote. There will be required of a new skill set because there is a change in the environment. And people, and many high-tech companies started investing in a wrong place, okay? They invested in people, they invested in technology, and when COVID was getting better, frankly, things went back to normal. Revenue dipped down because many customers realized they don't even need this. In COVID, they realized they don't even need this, they are paying more. So revenue dipped down. The whole experiment of thinking that things will change did not happen, and people have to do layoffs. Now there are many, many huge layoffs. So let me talk about VMware. VMware is acquired by Broadcom. Broadcom is a Avago company. Please go and do a lot of search because it's a huge history you can get. They acquired Brocade, they acquired CA Technologies, they acquired Symantec. They tried for Qualcomm 5 years back, but Trump did not let it happen. Then they came to VMware, and it happened. It is a power game, money game, it is a monopoly game. So why I'm giving you all this information is, you know, more than saying what is right and what is wrong, understand why. Because if you understand the why, it'll help you to take decisions. So, you know, so I cannot say what is what, but it's up to you. You have your choice to make, and it's completely up to you, and you should know what you're doing. If you are thinking that I'm taking a break to develop some skill set, go ahead. If you think I'm taking a break to know myself, take a break. If you want to go and help some poor NGOs in the village side for some time, do it. This is the right age. Money you can always make. See, eventually it is your personal interest. Okay? Whatever you do with interest, you will be successful, including गाय चराना. मैं तो सोच ही रही हूँ 2 गाय रख लूँ, एक फार्म खोल लूँ, अपने लिए एक पौधा, अपने लिए कुछ बना लूँ और जी लूँ जिंदगी. You know?
Absolutely.
But ये चीज़ बोलने के लिए इतना वक्त लगा, इतना सीखना पड़ा.
So I can correlate with what Anandji showed us, you know, one picture, and what was common between all 3 of them, passion. So you need passion at the end of the day to drive your own personal interest. My personal interest could be to sit at home idle and do nothing. But if your father is a big businessman, you can afford to do that. So you had certain points, Mr. Anand.
And hence I said, you know, actually the answer lies between both the questions and both the discussions which you did. And for me, that one word which I missed, which I had in my point of discussion is ikigai.
Ikigai, yeah.
Simple. Whenever, wherever you are stuck, it is ikigai. I-K-I, जो भी है वो. So please, I'm very bad at. So thanks to Word and systems, we have lost the track of all these things. So ikigai is your one word answer for all your questions, which will tell you what are you passionate about, what you want to get into in your life, what is your career progression. So I'll go a little one step ahead in conversation with this discussion is, while yes, it's very good to have options, but again, at the end, what matters the most is आपके जेब में कितना पैसा है. I have completed, I completely agree with you. I have completed all my, you know, graduation, post-graduation degree as a part of my learning. I completed my 12th. After that, I have never gone to college from a full-time academics point of view. And for obviously the main reason was finance. We did not come from a very well-versed, you know, financial background. So yes, we completed our graduation. I completed my post-graduation. I am currently doing my PhD, which I was just telling them. I have also applied for a scholarship. So learning never stops. But at the same time, if you follow ikigai, trust me, you will be able to create some value addition for yourself along with your career. So switch karna hai. So again, midway between this discussion, अगर आपको लगता है कि तकलीफ हो रही है, जख्म हो रहा है, दुख रहा है, पेन हो रहा है, switch. But that doesn't mean you keep on switching. कहीं ना कहीं you have to bring that stability. If you ask me, 2 to 3 years is something which should get married. When I say get married to your career, not your spouse or not your partner. At this age where you all are here, my humble request to everybody is get married and get married to your career. At least for the next 2 to 3 years, उसके बाद decide करो क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, शादी करनी है, नहीं करनी है. That's purely your personal choice. किसके साथ करनी है, none of my business. But for the next 2 to 3 years, if I wear the lens of this institute, this entire forum which we are talking about, for the next 2 to 3 years, get married to your career, not your partner or your spouse. I hope I'm making sense to you. And then take a call, something which is really troubling us. If we both are not in agreement to that, it's okay. It's okay to have a switch. But switching after every 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, definitely is a problem. I hope you're able to relate to this. So the moment you think that, no, this is not working for me, be clear. And that's what Ikigai tells you, ki boss, no, this is the right path which I want to get into. And then pick up that path and develop your skill set. But at least, once or twice, not more than that. And then for the next 2 to 3 years, get married to your career.
Yeah, excellent point made by Anand. So we have come to a conclusion. I'll not repeat it. Thank you for, summing it up really well. And moving to, the second last question, I have a couple of more questions. So this is a very crucial and sensitive matter these days. We talk a lot about mental health, isn't it? There were reports by Empower, which is a company by Aditya Birla, which do a lot of study on mental health. They have pointed out that 93% of the stress which is being faced by people today is caused at the workplace. It's a very concerning statement when I was reading that article, which got published in September only. So my question is related to that only. ये बच्चे बहुत बचा रहे हैं, इनको depression, anxiety, mental stress. When I say this, I also want to tell you, when we did engineering until 2018, we used to undertake 220 credits. Now, AICT looking into कि जनता बच्चे की problem हो रही है, they've reduced the credits to 160, and then the health problems were not prevailing, and now there are more mental health problems, and people are in depression, and you would have seen and experienced many people leaving the organizations as well, citing these reasons. So, I wrote it down and I'll read it from my notes. I'm interested in hearing your perspective on handling work-life balance and effective stress management strategies. How to do that? Even I'm, looking at people who are working from home. Once they're getting called to join companies, there's these reasons, I'll not be able to come, I'll have stress, how will I manage it? You would have experienced it when you would have sent them emails. 50-60% of emails have totally sent an email that will not be able to join. It's this way or that way. And again, coming to, Karuna, what's your say on this? Managing stress and having a work-life balance.
When we, this is like my personal experience.
Okay.
Whenever, I get to interview candidates, so when I open up the question to the candidates, do you have any question for me? The first question that comes is, how is the work-life balance in the organization? And, where do I see myself? Is it like a 9-to-5 job, or should I be there, flexible with the working hours? So the first thing is that nowadays all the organizations are really focusing on giving a better work-life balance by not coming up with the concept of working from 9 to 5. It is more towards you do your job, end of the day your job needs to be done.
Your KRAs needs to be.
Yes, because they have to meet the KRAs. And still, there are a lot of trainings that goes on internally, especially when we talk about the stress management or about the mental healthness, some physical activity in the organization. But it's more like 50-50. Some people do attend the sessions, some people really don't attend the sessions, but this is purely for them. But I would sum it up that nowadays every organization is really focusing on having a good work-life balance, be it whether it's a hybrid mode or whether it is 3-day working or 5-day working. That's been a major focus with all the organizations.
Oh, interesting insights. The companies are doing a lot. Even the higher educations are these days mandated to have a counselor. So we have in an institution a portal wherein our students get, all the help related to the mental health issues. So Gataji was interested in understanding the same aspect from your perspective, as you have seen the industry, pre-anxiety industry and post-anxiety industry. So what is your say on this? Like Kapil Dev ji was interviewed, few months back before the World Cup. He told these days the players are saying there's a lot of depression. So I am not making, depression, fun of depression, but he was of the opinion that earlier at their times, this was never the case. So I want to understand what has happened, what has changed. Is this the social media? Is it, actually the globalization or the work pressure has increased, which is leading towards these issues?
That's a very valid question, Sahil. Let me ask to the Janta. Guys, do you feel stressed, depressed anytime?
Yes or no? There are mixed voices.
Okay. Why do you feel depressed? Career? I'm not asking about boyfriend, girlfriend. That is the permanent source of depression. Forget it. Different level of stress, useless. What else? Why are you stressed about? Give me one valid reason.
Lot of expectation have been put in future generation like us to be doing good and being good in our careers and knowing everything from the start. For example, if we go back to the date of our parents, I personally learned from my grandparents and parents that passing 10th was a very big deal at that time. But nowadays, people having masters, bachelors, and they are not even considered that much of a good thing to have. So it could have a lot of pressure on us from young time, from like right now, a lot of expectation have been put on us to have a lot of things to do.
This is what I was wanted to hear. Actually, what happens, rightly said, during our time, if you get 60%, you are a star. Now, even if you get 95%, you are not confirmed admission in Delhi University. Cutoff is 98%. You know? And there is always a comparison. उसका बेटा, उसका ताऊ का बेटा, इसका मामा का बेटा, इसकी बेटी ने किया, तुमने नहीं किया, उसको 25 लाख का जॉब मिला, तुम्हें 15 लाख का है, क्यों है, उसका बीवी इतनी गोरी है, तुम्हारा बीवी काली है, all that stuff. So it's a matter of comparison. I think that is related to stress. We ourselves, as a parents, I feel as a parents also, we have too much of expectations. I cannot expect that my kids will be only do as what I want, or as what the society has said. You be a doctor or an engineer or this or that. Let the children decide their own fate. Give the options to them. Be there to guide. Don't put our own expectations, our own desires on top of the kids. That is reduce half it. Secondly, guys, there are some situations which are not in our control. Do you know, see, when you come across a tough situations, you have two ways to do it. To react. How do you face a situation, tough situation? Either you face it or you leave it. It's up to us. Now, leaving it is in your hand. Okay. Sometimes we are forced to face a situation. We don't have any choice. Okay. That is the time where you make a decision that, okay, this has been forced upon me, but this is only a temporary phenomenon. This is not going to describe or define who I am or what I am in the 10 years, 20 years. But this is going to make me a better person because I'm going to learn something out of it. Tomorrow, if I lost a job because of a recession, believe me, I lost a job. In 2008, we lost job because of recession. I used to curse that company. 6 months back, they hired me. 4 years, I was in a very nice, cushy job. I joined a company, and within 6 months, I was out. So then I told them, why did you hire me? You should not have hired me. So just for 6 months, I was happy in my previous job. But then the next job which I got, that was because of this job. So even if you feel the worst of situations, there will always be some better opportunities which will come, which is related to that industry. So always hope for the best and learn from the worst. That's how you prepare it. So don't take stress. Stress lena apne upar hai. We want to take stress or you don't want to take stress. It's up to us. And how we react to stress is up to us only. The problem is instant gratification. हर कोई हमें जल्दी चाहिए. I joined a company. अगर एक साल के अंदर मुझे promotion नहीं मिला, I am not happy. I want to start looking out.
Yeah, this is what we wanted to
I
hear
want
from you. Instant
iPhone
gratification.
14, iPhone 15 is not given to me. I am unhappy. I am sad. True or not?
Delayed gratification,
Del-
if we are all,
That is
ready
the reason
for
of stress, I believe. So it's up to us.
Up
So whatever
to us.
outside counselors we get, all these bhashans and yoga retreat and all that stuff, nothing will happen in the till the time we change our own thought process.
own thought process. Thank you so much for an insightful answer. I think it has really helped us. I think the takeaway from this answer is the delayed gratification. Even if you're looking out for a, good dessert, don't do it if you're if you want to lose your weight. So delayed gratification is the mantra. If you find a job a bit challenging, do it for a period of time.
Can I just add
Yeah, sure.
important perspective? Because I think you guys need to know more perspectives. है ना? एक चीज़ों को अलग अलग तरीके से देख सकते हैं. तो हमारा अगर देखने का जरिया बदल जाता है ना, स्ट्रेस चली जाती है. अगर मैं सोचूं कि मेरे मम्मी पापा के टाइम पे वो लोग प्रॉपर जॉब करके आते थे 9 to 6 वाला, घर आ जाते थे, फिर काम नहीं करते थे क्योंकि लैपटॉप नहीं होता था और तभी 10 रुपया बिग डील था, ऑल दैट. बट उनका अलग स्ट्रेस था. दे हैड अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रेस टू पुट अप विद द सोसाइटी. एंड देन केम आवर टाइम. वी हैड अ डिफरेंट स्ट्रेस. Where we joined a work, we had to work like donkey. Regardless, we had a mind like horse, but we had to listen to our superiors. Okay, we never could make our own choice at work for a very long time. Now comes to your generation. Your generation is completely different. By the way, you actually say, this is the job you have given me, don't expect more from us. This is what you gave us in JD, don't make me do much. Are you paying me this money? That's when I'm doing this. So basically, आपके इसमें अलग तरीका का है. एंड स्ट्रेस ना तुम सोचोगे तब लोगे. अगर कुछ सोच रहे हो तो आप सोचो कि उसका कोई एक्शनेबल्स हैं तो एक्शन करो, सोचते मत रह जाओ, है ना. और when you tell this all this, I feel like coming and giving you a hug. It's okay. Life is very simple. Everybody will do well. Trust me, each one of you look back when you're 40, you will laugh at yourself today what you have been. So you're lucky to actually see us, meet us, hear from us, because we never got this opportunity. And we are giving our 100-200% when we are talking to you. You know why? Because we are seeing if we can make any difference to your difficulty that's going to come in future. Because हमको कोई नहीं था बोलने के लिए, है ना? So be happy, do best what you can do. Don't compare yourself with anyone. अगर तुम कुछ भी लायक नहीं हो, फिर भी कुछ बन जाओगे. That's the reality of life.
Just to add on, even a stop clock corrects time, at least, shows you correct time.
2 times.
Appreciate, just appreciate the things you have in hand instead of not having what you don't have. I have a normal Samsung phone, that's better. It is giving me the service. iPhone 15 may not be the best.
Amazing.
With what you have. That's it.
Amazing insights. I think find a mentor. If I have to sum it up, to change your perspectives. If you have a perspective, he'll definitely help you to align with the industry perspective. So I'll, ask Ajay ji to ask the last question.
Yeah. Quite a enlightening session, and I think they have asked we have asked many questions on your behalf, and this last question is also on your behalf. So there is a 0 to 6 months in an organization after the interview you get selected. It's a very, very crucial period because you are moving from one environment to another environment, as Anant has just shown us, which is campus to corporate. So there is a lot of disintegration which happens, and I think 30-40% attrition happens at this particular stage when they leave. And when they leave, not able to cope up with the stress or the environment, they always go and say the organizations are not good and bosses are bad. So they keep on circulating this particular stuff across. And HR has to pitch in that we are, as an organization, a good place to work. So my question pertains to this. But all these budding professionals need to do so that they can acclimatize better during those crucial 6 months first. And in your respective organization, let's say to begin with Karuna, in your organization, what sort of hand-holding activities you do to make the newbies comfortable with the environment so that your KRA also, attrition should be lower and they should be the happier lot and will be more productive. Thank you.
So here generally what I do basically is before even the students join the organization, it's my major focus is how am I going to keep them engaged until they join and post joining for at least 1 month. Because the students, we do hire multiple profiles. One is the internship, be it or full-time. So when it comes to full-time, it is very clear about the job description that the employee, the candidate has to do, this is the roles and responsibility. But the crucial period for us is more with the internship as well, because these are the ones who are going to get converted to an organization in the same role, or they might, exit. But now our focus is that, how am I going to keep them engaged? So this first thing is that assigning a mentor or a buddies for them, because they are the ones who is like a go-to person for even a full-time employee, a candidate, or an intern. Like they will ask all set of questions, like what is about the role, any pre-read materials that I need to be prepared with. So at least now the student is getting to know, okay, now this is what I am going to get into in an organization. Now once he or she, after joining the organization, there starts the training programs for them. So the trainings again will be designed, planned in such a way which is related to their specific team-wise, so that they get freshen up and they know what is their roles and responsibility within the team. So this is what we do I have been doing this with all my previous organizations for internship and for the full-time. But after doing this, yeah, it's always been a great response.
Okay.
And by doing this in my previous organization, it's always been a 100% conversion. So trust me, it is actually a 100% conversion, because that is the kind of training materials is what we are providing to the students, because it's not that you come, you join and get on the job. So it's like on the job training is a must, is a mandate, and this is what we generally focus on for the students.
Appreciated. I think this is a good model. Anandji has some interesting facts to share on this. Yeah, I would request you to,
Yeah, so here,
closing remarks.
what I wanted to add to this is, so from a fresher's point of view, there are two parameters in which we work as an organization. So we at Entity India, we have Awesome Academy. When we say Awesome, AWE, which is Academy for Women Empowerment. So again, these are females who were active in their career, took a break for any reason for between 1 year to 8 years. And they have come back in the organization. So for me, there is no difference between a female employee who was an employee for a very long period, and then because of any reason they came back, and my freshers. So for me, both my freshers and my Awesome Academy employees, so I treat both of them at the same level, because in spite of working for 8 years, 10 years, the break was for a very long time, which definitely creates that gap, or creates that insecurity. So what we have done is from the last 1 year, currently I'm proud to say that I'm running the 3rd batch of Awesome, which is Academy of Women Empowerment. Batch 1 we hired 25 last year in June, active, running well, doing superbly well, all 25 still in the system. We did batch 2, which was for business. Business, we could not find the right, blend. So we hired, I guess, 5 or 6, I'm unsure. And then 3 of them are still with us. And currently I'm running my batch 3, wherein there are 12 of them who are a part of this Awesome Academy. Coming back to my freshers whom we hire, I'm extremely proud to say that my first batch of freshers whom I hired was in 2014. all 2014 students are still are part of my discussion. I still have that WhatsApp group. There were 14 of us whom we hired in 2014. We still talk to each other. In fact, one of them, I spoke to him yesterday only that मैं जम्मू में आया हूँ. That's how. So what is important is stay connected with your roots, stay connected with your people. So when I took over this role, so I had a break in between. So when I rejoined, so currently with my role of talent, development and early careers, currently this is my third batch. Batch 1, everybody is intact, 0 attrition. Batch 2, intact, 0 attrition. Batch 3 is currently running. What we do differently, or in line to what ma'am mentioned here a while ago, we have a 3 months of orientation program जहाँ पर we don't talk about product process system, वो बाद में होता है. First 3 months we only spend time to understand what they want, what we do, and then we have this induction to be able to understand the organization. And post that, basis on the requirement, business requirement, what their skill sets are, we try to map them. While of course mapping everybody is very difficult, but we try to map them basis on the open positions which we have and the interest which you all have as a student. And that's how we try to map and marry both of them. I always use this word marry because it's very important that they both marry on these concepts so that they will be able to grow further. So I'm extremely proud that only 2 students in the last 3 years have lost, they have not been a part of this academy and this work. And the reason is they both went for your higher studies. They went for MS. Okay. Else, I'm very proud to say that, we as a team, we are at 100% retention. First batch of 2014 till the last batch which we closed a while ago. And now we are planning our freshers hiring by the month of February. And then we're going to continue doing that.
Amazing, amazing,
just thought of sharing this to everybody. And of course, my awesome academy is something which I feel really, really proud that, somebody, and especially where we talk about, diversity and inclusion. I should be ashamed that we were at 9% or 10% gender ratio. But today, from a fresher's point of view, I am at 50%. So for all tech graduates whom we hire, currently I'm proud to say that I am at 50%. And coming year, sorry guys, our target is to have 90% only female to do the tech job with us.
A big round of applause. So thank you, Anand, thank you, Karuna ji, thank you, Sri Lakshmi, thank you, Sogata ji, for your, insights on, different sets of questions from skill set to hiring trends to attitudes to mental health. And the last question, thank you once again. Yeah. A big round of applause for the speakers. Yeah.
As we bring this discussion to close, I would like to express a sincere gratitude to each of our esteemed panelists for sharing their valuable perspectives and contributing to the depth of this discussion. Moving ahead, we will now proceed with the felicitation ceremony. I now request Professor Sahil Sahani and Professor Ajay Khajuria to please come forward and present a memento and a shawl symbolic of our profound gratitude to our distinguished guests. I now request Mr. Sogata Sen to please join us and graciously accept the memento as a heartfelt token of appreciation from MITE. I request Ms. Sri Lakshmi Iyer to please join us and graciously accept the memento as a heartfelt token of appreciation from MITE. I now request Mr. Anand Dhruv to please join us and graciously accept the memento as a heartfelt token of appreciation from MITE. I now kindly request Ms. Karuna Shetanavar to please join us on stage and accept this memento as a sincere token of appreciation from MITE. Thank you all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks before this esteemed gathering. I, on behalf of the students, staff, and everyone here at MITE, take this opportunity to convey deep regards and hearty thanks to each and every one of you present here. First and foremost, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to our esteemed guests for their enlightening and thought-provoking insights. The discussions today have undoubtedly enriched our understanding of the ever-evolving field of human resources. Today has been a remarkable day. Thanks to the organizing team, the IT team, and the social media team for planning such an impressive event. Thank you all, and have a great day ahead.